This is me in my dashing matriculation getup. I started studying PPE at the Queen's College Oxford in 2019. Since then, I've had 7 years of experience mentoring and tutoring aspiring students from around the world to get into some of the top UK institutions. And one of the most common questions I get asked is, what actually is Oxford PPE? You might know it as the degree that gave birth to David Cameron, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, and more recently, Peter Mandelson. But it's not just about controversial politicians. PPE stands for Philosophy, Politics, and Economics. It was created in 1920s Oxford as the modern classics, aiming to empower the next generation of political leaders with an understanding of the human and social world.
If you'd like to know more, please watch the full video, or if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or message me on socials. Also, like and share this with friends and family who might be interested, and subscribe for deeper dives in future content.
So, what made The Guardian call PPE the degree that runs Britain? To get an understanding, let's begin with the course structure. It is a 3-year course divided into the first year called the prelims and the second year and third year for the finals. For the first year, students are given an introductory course into all 3 subjects that can be divided into 3 branches each. For philosophy, that is mainly general philosophy, which includes topics on epistemology and metaphysics, moral philosophy, and logic. Here, I would like to particularly highlight logic, as it is probably the least common branch. It's a study of how to break down language from its semantic structures and trying to understand arguments in a formulaic way. I personally found it fascinating, and most of the teaching is done centered around the logic manual, so do check it out if that might interest you. Politics is divided into theory, otherwise known as political philosophy, comparative government, that focuses on political systems, and a module on stats and data. Economics can be divided into microeconomics, macroeconomics, and maths.
Because let me tell you, economics at undergrad level was already painfully math heavy. And after you survive prelims, finals is where it gets exciting. You get to choose 8 papers you want to take. You can also choose to substitute one of those papers with a thesis. There are some limitations on what combinations are allowed. I won't go into that here, but in general it is reasonably flexible. And depending on how you choose those 8 subjects, you'll either be bipartite or tripartite, which means you'll either keep 2 of the 3 subjects or keep all of them. I personally went tripartite because I'm a terribly indecisive person.
Some of the papers that I personally find very interesting include game theory, economic history, and Marxism. You can even choose papers like politics in sub-Saharan Africa, aesthetics, or jurisprudence. There is, however, not a subject on how to become a politician. So you might be wondering, what is exactly about the course that creates the so-called political elites? For starters, I would say the impact of PPE is probably slightly overblown. Not all prime ministers did PPE.
A large part of it does come down to the legacy of the degree and meeting other like-minded and ambitious individuals who are either doing or did PPE. Because the degree is interdisciplinary, you do learn to analyze things from a different perspective and pick up different modes of thinking. However, I wouldn't say it's necessarily taught in an interdisciplinary way. Each subject is taught individually as its own thing. For example, you could take a paper in econometrics, and that would probably have little to no overlap with the philosophy of religion. But because these aspects are generally quite intertwined in the real world, it's not hard to see when and how P, P, and E intersect. The way the course is set up does mean that you sacrifice some depth for breadth. I, for example, would have liked to dive deeper into some aspects of political theory, but should you have further academic pursuits you may desire, on top of your already very heavy reading schedule, your tutors would generally be super supportive of that. I have always been fascinated by the philosophy of consciousness and the mind, which had absolutely nothing to do with what I was doing at the time, and I was able to have a very thoughtful discussion with my tutors on that. Because of this, I also think there isn't really a sort of typical PPEist. Many of my friends have gone on to do the most amazing range of things, while I am a part-time content creator. But that's the basics of what is PPE. Please do like and leave a comment if you'd like to see more of the similar content. I really enjoy sharing my experience in hopes that it might inspire others to chase what once felt like a very distant goal. I will also be looking into deeper dives into certain aspects of the course or even how one gets into PPE to begin with, so stay tuned.